Hey guys, shockingly, it's going to be the same exact animations that EA Sports UFC 5 will be having in terms of the ground and pound system, which I completely hate. It's pretty pathetic. If you're going to do a side by side comparison between the two, you're going to see that it's literally the same thing. You know, it makes you wonder what happens in these long gaps between development time, in between these developing days, whatever. You know, it's been 3 days. It's been 3 years since UFC 4 dropped, and granted, personally speaking, I wasn't a fan of the grappling. I wasn't a fan of the takedown system, and this is just even worse than it already is. You gotta understand, right? These people they're gonna be moving away from the Ignite engine that they've been using for the last 10 years, literally, ever since UFC 1 dropped in 2013 or 2014, whatever. These guys, in my opinion, right? I'm gonna keep it a brief because I'm gonna be making a very in-depth video essay documentary. Um, like these guys, right? They went from UFC 1 to 2, which was an improvement upon UFC 1. And UFC 3, they took away everything that they did for the striking system. They completely reworked it. And in essence, it's not a bad thing if they actually worked upon it for 2 years straight. And if that's what 2 years of development looks like, then I don't even know what 10 years would have looked like. But apparently it looks like this, and it doesn't really look that big of a difference compared to the first game. But what they do is, in the third game, they took away what they worked on in two. They brought in a new grappling striking system, and it was half-assed. It wasn't even completed. And then as soon as the game dropped, they just kept patching it. So what they do is they give you an unfinished product, and then they just keep patching it throughout the life cycle. And that's what they do. In UFC 4, I was like, okay, there's no way another 2 years goes by and these guys just barely do anything to it, right? Oh, guess what? They did. So and then we had UFC 4, which instead of taking something away in a striking that worked, this time around they took away ground and pound elbowing on the mat. So it's something that was in the game in the first 2-3 games, I believe, especially in the first second and third games. I believe there was ground and pound. I know for a fact it was a new reworked ground and pound system in UFC 2 and 3. And then in UFC 4, we had this bullshit right here. You know, this, I don't know what you want to call it. It's very bare bones, and the only reason why it's even in it, and they took away the elbowing, is because you can like sway on the ground. So they want to say that they added something new, but they took away something that was even more crucial. I don't really think that's the way that you should do it, but that's the way that they did it. And I was hoping that by the time UFC 5 rolls out, granted, guys, it's 3 years, it's a new console, it's a new engine, give us a new experience. What is this, bro? Like, I can rant about this for like longer than I should, and it's tragic that I can. I stopped playing UFC 4 because of the main reason that I felt like, look, I'm not happy playing the game. I feel like it's a genuine downgrade. I don't want to be like one of those parrots that like in KSI's prime, it was always, oh, EA, you suck, you suck. It becomes like a gimmick. It becomes a shtick. So like I didn't want to become a parrot, so I just completely stopped playing UFC 4. And then I stopped playing UFC 3 altogether because I didn't want to be the guy. I was like, oh, bro, I'm on UFC 3. Like, oh, what are you, bro? Are you broke? Like, you gotta deal with all that bullshit. Or like they're saying, oh no, bro, you're just bad at the game, bro. Like people rather play undisputed and be ranked number one and claim it's better than fighting a champion, bro. It's literally objectively a shame. It's something that I wish wasn't gonna be like this, but I couldn't really say that I expected anything else. It's just the same. It's really just a shame that we had to wait 3 years. But I believe the main reason why we had to even wait 3 years was because UFC 4 was the last game on the contract between UFC and EA. So let's just say they negotiated 1 year to get a better contract. Of course, UFC had to get the better side of the contract, obviously, or or they wanted more licensing money or whatever it may be. Probably that took a year to get done, and then they went about with the same 2 year gap in between games that they always do, and like they always do, they'll probably drop a game that's half finished, and keep patching it for another year and a half, and then they'll use the last half a year to promote the next game, and they just keep on rinsing and repeating, rinsing and repeating. And you're gonna have people in the scene, that make content about the game, that are going to be praising it left, right, and center. Look, I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Maybe it's better, but this right here is just, in my opinion, not acceptable at all. I'm just sick and tired of this stupid like ground and pound system. Like, you literally cannot even elbow it. If there were, I mean, like, it was UFC 4 and you couldn't do ground and pound elbows. Like, how much of a step forward can you keep taking, and keep producing new games, and while you do that, just keep regressing? It's really ridiculous. I just can't really relate to it in any shape, way, or form. If the development team, I think his name is, like, I think Robert Hayes, David Hayes or something. He worked on Fight Night Champion, and the Fight Night series continuously improved upon what they did. Obviously, Fight Night round 3 and round 4 were very different from one another. And round 4 and round 5 were, like, definitely different from one another. But even though it was different, they didn't have to build upon what they had. Okay, they did something completely new. That new thing was completely, objectively way better. So this right here, you just can't even say that. You really, really cannot say that, bro. In terms of graphics, bro, look, it's gonna be on the PS5. 4K, 60 FPS, maybe 120 FPS. Who cares? As long as it's 1080p 60. That's the main important thing. I wonder what the main reason is behind it being only next generation. If the Frostbite engine is that demanding, why would Battlefield 2044 or 42, whatever, be cross-platform? So if they can do it, why not them? I don't know. It's a lot of big questions. I'm gonna save it for my big documentary that I'm gonna be doing on my main channel. So this is KeenyK TV Extra, KeenyK TV 2, whatever it is. I'll be dropping a lot more gaming videos on this channel, though. Even though UFC 5 will be shit, I'll keep playing it because I don't want to be left behind for another 3 years. So I'll see y'all in the future.